They, I, I'm gonna say a lot of things in this video, mostly about the Celtics, but I do want to start off by congratulating the Miami Heat. They forced the Celtics to play bad this game. The Celtics didn't come out with the amount of energy that you need in a game 7. They didn't. The defense was just horrible. But on the offensive side, the Celtics, how they played, like how bad they played, were because of the Miami Heat. And they deserve a lot of credit. Caleb Martin, I don't even want to talk about him right now, but it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But I turned the game off with 9 minutes left. I think the Celtics were down like 17 or 15. They could have came back and made it a game for all I know right now, but I'm recording this. I wanted you guys to have my raw reaction. And this game was fucked when Tatum turned his ankle. Like straight up and down. When Tatum turned his ankle, like, of course I didn't think it was going to be that serious where it was like affecting him the entire game. But once I seen that after he actually turned his ankle and after the fact, like everything he was doing, he was grimacing and shit, not moving correctly on defense or on offense, I knew it was going to be pretty tough for us to win. And then Rob came in. That's another thing. Like, this is 100% not a Joe game, but he didn't help us either. Like, you need shooting, right? You won last game, which was your first time winning any game in this series, shooting as bad as you did from 3. Sam Hauser gets no. Grant and Brogdon were absolutely horrible. You know, Grant didn't give you anything the last game either. You won the last 3 games without Brogdon. He plays tonight, doesn't do anything. Grant plays tonight, doesn't do anything. You can't play 6 deep. You just can't play 6 deep at this stage, especially with Tatum hurt, Rob looking like he's hurt and tired, and also Al didn't give you shit either. Like, so Rob came in and was immediately the best player on the Celtics, right? Rob came in, he gave you effort. He was playing defense, he was rebounding. They were finding him, and I've said this for about 2 to 3 years that Rob is the easiest points the Celtics are ever gonna get. When you struggle on offense, he's the ultimate mismatch because all you have to do is throw the fucking ball up and he's gonna throw it through the rim. He shoots 75% for his career. And for a team that's struggling to hit shots, that can't hit threes, and they were still in the game when they weren't hitting threes. Every single opportunity that Rob has on a mismatch or he's rolling to the basket open, you have to throw the lob, bro. Because it's the easiest points you're ever going to get. Joe has underutilized Rob as far as his minutes this entire series, bro. I don't think Rob has played over 30 minutes this entire series. And yes, of course, we have gone out on top these last 3 games, but there are obvious situations where Rob should be in the game, and he's played great throughout the entire game, and he's not in the game for some reason. Rob and Derek White were seemingly the only Celtics that were taking it to the Miami Heat. And no matter what anybody else were doing, they were being effective and they were being aggressive, right? You can't just go with your normal guys when your normal guys aren't playing. This is what I'm talking about by like coaching with a predetermined notion. If Rob is playing great and White is playing great, you gotta ride them for as long as you can. But let me stop talking about Joe because this is not a Joe game. Jaylen Brown. This is a guy that I've defended for as the moment he's gotten to the league, right? He was bashed for being the 3rd overall pick. Of course, he was raw coming in, and like I've always seen the potential in Jaylen, right? And he's a great number 2. He was for majority of the season. It's not disrespectful to say that somebody can't be a top option on a championship team. There's 32 teams. Half of those teams don't have top options on championship teams because half of those teams aren't contenders. So if I'm saying that, 10 to 15 people are number 1 options on championship teams that can get it done, that's the top 1% of people, bro. Jaylen Brown is an amazing player. He's an all-NBA second team player. But tonight showed you he can't be number 1. And I already knew that. Like, the turnovers, bro. The turnovers. He cannot have 8 turnovers in a game 7. He can't. And it's not like he's playmaking for others. That's not the case. He's not dribbling He's not the point guard, bro. Jaylen Brown just hasn't been able to create space. I don't know why. He's been able to do it in past series. He's been able to do it in past years. For some reason, even when he's one-on-one with Gabe Vincent, when he's one-on-one with Struz, with Robinson, he just can't get a bucket. And when he does, it's so tough. A part of that I do not blame, but I do wish the Celtics would put him in better position to score. Like, if he has Gabe Vincent one-on-one, I don't want him dribbling from the three-point line trying to get to the cup. Gabe Vincent has quick hands. Jaylen Brown's handle obviously isn't there yet. And he's just going to give the ball up. We saw this last year. Oladipo plucked him like 5 times in the same game. Just post him up. If he has Gabe Vincent one-on-one, why make it more difficult for him to score? Put him in situations where he doesn't have to do the things he's bad at, bro. Jaylen Brown should 100% be better at not giving the fucking ball up. I understand that, bro. I totally understand it. And I think he has to go. I'm not even lying to you. I really do. Because this whole series, he's giving you nothing. Last game was technically his best game because he had 26 points. But he still just wasn't. It's just things that you see when you watch him. It's just like, what the fuck is he doing, bro? What is he doing on the court, bro? Like, what is he playing for? Like, who is his, like, what is going on in his head? The turnovers, going in to help defenders, not using your body and strength. You keep trying to sauce up guys that are smaller than you, and their hands are sitting right there in the crossover lane, and you're just giving the ball up. You're not passing the ball with any conviction. You're just throwing the ball with no oomph on it, so the defender can just take the ball and run the other way. And the threes that he takes, especially in this game when we had momentum, the Celtics will score, get the rebound, score, get the rebound again. As soon as Jaylen Brown felt we had the momentum, he shot a pull-up three. Every single time we had something to go off, finally, he came down and shot a horrible fucking shot. Every single time. And I'm just like, I don't know what, I can't defend him anymore, bro. I can't do it. I can't defend him anymore. They have to do a better job at playing to his strengths. When he has guys like Gabe Vincent, Max Struz, Duncan Robinson on him, post him up closer to the basket so he doesn't have to dribble the ball 20 times. But a second team All-NBA player should be better at protecting the basketball than he is right now. He has to. Tatum was playing on one leg and he was more effective than Jaylen Brown in this game. Tatum was visibly in pain every single time he did a power move or something explosive. Visibly in pain every single time. But on defense and on offense, Tatum was better. The Celtics off-ball defense is fucking horrible. Because when you play basketball, you're supposed to be taught, or I hope everyone was taught, that when your man does not have the ball, you should be able to see your man and the ball at the same time. Or you're like checking him out, or you have your hand on him and you have your eye on the ball at all times. That's what you're supposed to do, right? I can't tell you how many times this series where a Celtics player is face guarding their man but not touching him. So Caleb is here, the Celtics player is here, and they're facing him like this. They have no idea where the ball at. So they're not close enough to deter the guy from catching the pass. So they're far enough that when the ball is passed to who they're guarding, they don't know where the ball is at. So their man gets it, and they're like surprised that he got the ball because they can't see where the pass is coming from. And it's just, it's the little things that I don't understand how you go from playing the defense you played the last 3 games. You held Miami under 100 points for 2 of those games. They barely cracked 100 last game. You're helping everywhere. Your communications is crisp. Your switching is crisp. You're fighting over every screen. And you come out in this game and stop doing it. Smart said this in the game that they lost. They get tired of doing the little things. And people obviously glossed over it, but it just doesn't make sense why a team at this level is doing stuff like that. These last 3 games, the Celtics were doing things that forced the Heat to show their talent. Everybody knows off pure basketball skill, the Celtics team is more talented than the Miami Heat team. The first 3 games, the Celtics were not forcing the Miami Heat to show their talent. They weren't forcing guys like Duncan Robinson and Max Strus to dribble the ball and handle the ball in order to score. They were letting them play to their strengths. They were letting Duncan Robinson and Max Strus shoot wide open threes. They've continued to let Caleb Martin. He is not this good, right? He's not this good. Like I'm gonna say that now. He's not this fucking good. He has been the Heat's best player this series. He's been the most consistent player this series, right? He's averaging 20 points, and when I cut the game off, he had 26. So that average is up. I can't even be upset at what he's doing when the Celtics see what he's doing and they continue to play him the same way. Every single game he has torched them, and they haven't changed how they defended him. It hasn't happened. They're still leaving him to double. They're still leaving him open. They're still face guarding him without seeing where the ball is. So when he gets the ball, he has an advantage because the other guy is discombobulated because he doesn't know that he's even getting the ball until it's too late. The Celtics didn't want to win the championship. They didn't want to win this game 7. I don't know if they were tired. They didn't work on offense. They didn't do the work to get good shots on offense. They completely didn't do that. They played 1-on-1 the entire night, and the Heat were bad for 3 quarters. The Heat were bad. And at one point in the game, it was 66-60 because Derek White took over for one stretch. And that's all they needed to be within striking distance. The Heat did not play great. The Celtics had their chances, bruh. The Celtics had their chances for 3 quarters and they just didn't do it. You're not going to get equal value for Brown. It's just not something that happens. And I do understand that it's rare to have a guy that scores 27 points on 50% shooting as a number 2 option. You know, Tatum and Brown were the highest scoring duo in the NBA. You're not going to find a dude to replace his production. But what he continuously does in playoff games, this is not something that just happened. Even Tatum was worse than Brown last year as far as his approach and his turnovers, especially in the finals. But I can confidently say Tatum got better at, his approach, even though he's not as consistent. And that's another thing. Your 2 stars aren't as consistent as you would want them to be, which is crazy, right? But I can confidently say Tatum got better at, his approach, his mentality, and taking care of the ball. Jaylen Brown he's the same person from last year in the Heat series where him and Tatum were both just giving the ball to the Heat, bro. They were just giving the ball up. I really don't know what to do with Brown. I don't think the Celtics will trade him, but I think they need to because this team needs something else. I just don't know what they do at this point. Like, Rob has to come back better. He can't be out there tired as shit, laboring in a game where we need him, even though he was great this game and great really this entire series. For some reason, Joe does not trust him. Today, from start to finish, he was their best player. From the start of the game to when I turned it off, he was consistently their best player. Then it was White because he had that unbelievable stretch. But for some reason, Rob has done something or Rob hasn't shown enough for Joe to trust him. He has to change that. Simple. Brogdon killed you in this series. Not having Brogdon, I know they won 3 straight without him, but not having Brogdon, especially in this game, killed you, bro. It killed you. That's your whole second unit offense, bro. That's your entire second unit offense. Yes, I think Rob can do a lot more than what the Celtics are using him for, especially on offense. He showed that this series, but Brogdon is 15 to 16 points every night. That's a difference. And I don't know how the Celtics got out of 3 straight games with virtually no Brogdon. But in this game, you needed him. You needed a healthy Malcolm Brogdon in this game because I knew how rugged it was going to be in the game 7. I knew that he was going to muck the game up. They were going to make everything tough. They weren't laying down in this game unless the Celtics made them lay down. The Celtics never had a stretch long enough to make the Heat lay down. Right? They never got up at any point to make them lay down. You needed Brogdon's offense. Whether it's because he's hurt or not, he didn't give it to you. Tatum, I really do commend him on playing on that ankle, but I would like him to be better. But it's not much I can say with a guy that, is clearly hurt. He played through it. He wasn't as effective as he usually is in elimination games, but I don't even know what to say. Like, he got hurt. I don't know what to say. So it's whatever with Tatum, bro. Al Horford in this series was bad, bro. Was actually bad. The offense, he shot 43% in the regular season from 3. He gave you nothing this entire series. He gave you nothing consistently from the 3-point line this entire series. His defense was cool, but on Bam's just so much quicker. And you can see the difference in Bam's game when Rob is checking him and when I was checking him. You can just see it. It's evident. And again, some of this is on Rob. Rob has to be reliable enough or do something more for Joe to trust him, bro. Even though he has a lot of Celtics fans trust, Joe doesn't trust him. I hope it's something that Rob did, because that means it could change it. If it's just Joe not trusting him, then that's bad on Joe. Grant, again, for the second straight game, gave you nothing. So the Celtics were effectively running a 6-man rotation for Game 6 and Game 7. It's not a recipe for success. Grant didn't give you anything. Brogdon's hurt. Al is nothing on offense. So it is what it is. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, share to anybody. I would appreciate it. And this is going to be an interesting offseason. I really want to see what happens. There's going to be a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation. I really just want to see what happens with the Celtics. So, again, it's Nick. Peace.